Greetings and salutations, students. Instructor Alan G. speaking. And I'd like to demonstrate at least a portion of the step-by-step exercise in Chapter 5 related to tables. The reason for this is I had a couple students contact me this week, and they ran into different issues with the same exercise. And I thought, well, maybe there's something tricky about this one, more so than the previous chapters. So I thought I'd go through the steps. Now, the purpose of this video is not to explain anything about tables, although I probably will. I probably can't help myself. But the purpose of the overview video on the previous page of the assignment, actually, I'm not sure what page it's going to be on. The overview video for the assignment for the step-by-step exercise for tables, that video, it's a little under an hour. That one talks about tables and explains things that the book says and emphasizes the important things that the book says about tables and de-emphasizes things that the book says about tables that are not important. Okay, so that's the video that has more instruction in it. This one is going to be a step-by-step for people that get stuck, I suppose, and need to see how to perform a particular action. Okay, because with tables, there are some tricky things where you do need to click into the right cell at the right time to have the right result. Okay, but again, I don't want this to be a long video. I want it to be something students can reference and just use to get them through some sticky situation. So in the Canvas area, this is presently, this exercise is in the week 8 module. Okay, and see if there's anything special in the assignment. In the assignment instructions, it does say that, there are some notes on the document itself, on the PDF itself. And I highly recommend that you use the PDF that I supply rather than your own copy of the ebook. I'll just show you real quick. When I scroll through here, you'll see this green text where I give you some pretty good information about what you'll be doing in the exercise and how to proceed. In fact, I'm going to now pull up a copy of that in a larger view. And like I said, I'm just going to be going to the steps. I'm not going to read anything, which will probably get me into trouble. So here are the two files that we need. One is going to be our working file. That's the CH5 data. And then the other file we're going to use for the information. We're going to import information from that file to CH5. Okay, but CH5 is going to be our data file. We need them both. So I'm going to download them both. When you download files, they go to your downloads folder. Just remember that because you might want to move them before working on them. That's up to you. I'm going to click the first, well, it doesn't matter the order. No, it doesn't really matter the order. I'm going to click CH5. And interestingly, depending on the browser you're using, it may open right up. I'm using Microsoft Edge, it opened right up. If you're using Google Chrome, it might download to the downloads folder and you might have to deliberately open it. Regardless of how you get the file open, you're going to have to, you may have to click a button to enable editing. Basically what you're saying is that it's, or enable content, you might have to do both. You're saying that the file is trustworthy, okay, which it is. And you want to take inventory of the file. When you open up a new file, I can see that there are 1, 2, 3 sheet tabs. There might be other sheet tabs that are hidden, but so far the book hasn't really, tricked us with that yet. So this is our working copy, and I'm going to look at this in a minute. But I want to go back to the textbook and get the other file. So I clicked the other file, and I was expecting it would just download. But since I'm using Microsoft Edge, it opens up. So you don't need to open up that other file, but since it opened up, you can look at it. I mean, just a bunch of data, right? I don't know how many columns, 10 columns. I'm going to click Enable Editing. You don't have to open it up and click that, by the way. In fact, I'm just going to immediately close it. I know where it went. It's in the Downloads folder, and that's where I'm going to go to find it when I need to import data from it. Okay, so that's why in my note there I said, you know, just download it and know where you put it, but don't worry about looking at it. Although if you really want to understand what you're doing more carefully, then you would look at it. That would be a good idea. So I'm going to try not to read the steps. Now, you should be reading the steps carefully and reading the information about the steps. My goal is to get through the steps and demonstrate them for you, because that's the one thing the book can't do, right? The book can explain everything, you know, as well as I can in many cases, and sometimes better. So that's great. Read the book for the explanations, but the book cannot demonstrate it for you. It's a static document. So I'm going to try and demonstrate it for you. All right, open up CH5 data. Well, I already did. Now, if you downloaded CH5 data, then it's in your downloads folder. Go move it if you want, but double click it and open it up. They want us to save it with a new name. I guess I can do that. I'll do that. I'll do F12. F12 is save as, right? And I'll go to my SAC Excel folder, and I want it to be called something about HR report. I'll just copy that, highlight that, and paste it in here. CH5 HR report. I'm going to remove that period though. You should never put a period in a file name. Even though you can, even though it's permissible, don't do it. CH5 HR report, and I'll click save. Going back to the book. In the employee data sheet, click on cell A5. Employee data, A5. Whoops. Mac users. Okay, so I'm going to ignore the Mac user comments, right? The little blue apple there. Step 3, from the data tab, choose get data. Data tab, get data. From file. Well, I guess I should read what they say. From file, from workbook, okay. From file, from Excel workbook. Well, was that other document an Excel workbook, or was it a CSV file? Well, they say from workbook, so. Because it seems to me, I thought I saw that it said CSV. Doesn't matter. If it doesn't work, then I'll choose the other option from CSV. Okay, I see that. Nice diagram. See, I like this book. You know, I'm a little harsh on it at times. Navigate to the course file datas or course data files area, wherever you keep your files, wherever you keep this particular one. I didn't move it from downloads. And that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go to downloads, and CH5HR. That's the one. Double click. And I get a dialog box that opens up called Navigator, some kind of a tool. Instead of clicking import, I double clicked the file, and that activated the import button. The Navigator dialog box will open, select the, oh, it is a CSV file. Okay. So I don't know, maybe the steps they're giving us are just as good, or maybe we could have saved a step. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So select the file. Okay, I see it there. Looks beautiful. At the bottom of the Navigator, a dialog box, select load, and then load to. So they want us to hit the little triangle on the right side of load. Load 2. Select how you want to view this data in your workbook. Table, pivot chart. No, I just want to put it in the existing worksheet as regular data, a normal range of data. Now, what's surprising to me is that that's not the default. I'm going to say existing worksheet A5. I'm really surprised by that wouldn't be the default. Table. Well, what's interesting is if you put it in this worksheet, they only allow you to import it as a table, pivot chart. If you click only create a connection, then it's not really, the data is not going to really be there. It's just going to be a link. So it's interesting. It's not going to be a normal range of data. I'm not sure why that wasn't an option. Maybe had we chosen get data by another way, that would have been an option. You'll see what I mean by table as opposed to normal range of data. Well, let's see what that book says. Load 2. So I'm going to click OK. You know, what I'm seeing here, some of you guys tell me, oh, the book had 50 pages. I just scrolled through 3 pages because they're all images. Now, I know you have to look at the images more carefully when you're learning. I understand that. But some of these pages are just full of images, which is great. They're very descriptive. So it looks like I'm just going to click OK. And the data is going to import as a table. Yeah, I find this a little odd. I'm sure there's a way to import it just as a normal range of data. But I'm going to click OK. And boy, it went in there. It's green. Why it shows green, I don't know. But that's what they thought it would. That's the color. Oh, maybe that's, I'm not sure why. I'm not going to wonder why. There's, you know, there's, what is it, 6 or I think there's 6 colors that, in fact, here's an image of one of our projects, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I think there's 6 colors anyway. And you can change the theme colors so they're more interesting, but you can tell this is the boring green that they give us. It's kind of a natural green. It looks like they want us to close the queries and connections box on the right-hand side. So I'll close that panel. I would call it a panel. Did they call it? Yeah, they called it a dialog box. It's not a dialog box. It's a panel. That's okay. That's a mistake I could make. Maybe in the old days, it was a dialog box, you know. So I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to zoom in. So there's a lot of rows there. There's 10 columns. J, right? You know that that's 10. So I looked at the file. I didn't really mean to, but I looked at that original file before I started the project. And so that gives me some comfort that all the information went in. And you really should do that in the real world. You should definitely look at the information you're importing, compare it to what gets imported, and, you know, just know that everything's there. There's 106 rows. And there's probably a header row plus, yeah, so there's about 100 rows or 99 rows anyway that have data in the table. These are the alternate steps. Well, I don't need alternate steps because I'm not using a Mac. Okay, so I'm using Excel for Windows. So it says, please continue with the Table Tools Design tab section below. Okay. There we go, Table Tools Design. Follow the steps below to format and edit tables, the table. Now, why all of a sudden the font in this PDF went twice the size, I don't know. It's an editing issue, I'm sure. Click Table Tools Design tab on the ribbon. Now, this is a contextual tab, okay? A context-sensitive tab. Let me get it back for you. And there's actually 2 of them. There's a query tab there, but when you're working with tables, you're going to have this table design tab. And that's where your primary tools are going to be for working with the table, for doing table specific kinds of things. Now, I didn't have to really click that tab because I think it's already active. You go ahead and click it. Okay, don't double click it. If they say click, don't double click. Watch what happens when I double click. Teacher, where'd my ribbon go? Teacher, I broke the computer. Right? But it didn't say double click, it said click. So if you hide the ribbon by mistake, you can double click to get it back. But if it says click, just click once, okay? Mac users. All right, from the provided table styles, now we're going to change the style. Okay, that's cool. We're going to go blue, table style, medium to option. So tables, quick, it's called quick styles is the button. What did they call it? Interesting, from the provided table styles. So this book was written before some of these buttons got a name change. Although, wait a minute now, I'm sorry, it does say table styles in the group. Now, I don't know why that's a group, but the button itself, let me widen this and see the way it looks. Yeah, I see why they called it table styles, because if it's expanded, then you can see the table styles. I'm working in a very small window, and the reason I'm working in a narrow window is so that the zoom image is larger for you guys, okay, to see in the recording. Okay, I'll demonstrate that right now as I show you these quick styles or these table styles. So as I hover my mouse over them, I think you can see without me even clicking, the table in the background is changing as I move my mouse around. Now they want blue medium 2 or something. I'm going to guess that's it. Blue table style medium 2. And that is the one. Oh, they even had a picture of where it was. How perfect. Freezing panes. This is a good idea to do at times. It's definitely a good skill to learn. If needed, adjust column width so all heading names in row 5 are visible. Well, whether it's needed or not, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do it. Let me show you a trick here. You can click in the upper left corner of the sheet above the one to the left of the A column. That corner is a select all button. Selects the entire sheet. Then put your mouse between any 2 columns in the heading area. I have my mouse between D and E, and then double click. I didn't do it right. Try it again. I'm going to try it one more time. I think I did it right that time, but yeah. So if your mouse moves in between the double clicks, then it obviously invalidates the double click. Now that expanded. It expanded my many of the columns. Possibly some of the columns became smaller, but definitely that first employee number became larger. Now that employee ID column really doesn't need to be larger. The reason it became larger was because of the content up in rows 1 and 2. But you never determine the column width based upon information that's outside the column, right? This is a title. This is a subtitle. That has no relevance to the width of column A. So I'm going to manually adjust column A to the size of the heading, which is employee ID. Okay. Whoops, I almost canceled. All right, so I'm going back to the book if I can find it, and click cell B6 in the table. Okay, so I'm clicking cell B6, and that is in the inside corner of the table. So there's one row above, and there's one column to the left. So it's the inside corner cell of the table. That's usually what you click when you want to freeze panes, because the top row will be frozen and the first column will be frozen. So I think that's where they're going with this. Click the View tab, select Freeze Panes. Okay. So View, and then Freeze Panes, Freeze Panes. So the Freeze Panes button, and then from that button, there's 3 choices. I choose Freeze Panes. So there's I guess I should explain some of what happens. So, but let's see what they want us to do. Yeah, these diagrams are really fantastic. It's been a while since I've done an exercise from this book. Well, they didn't really have us demonstrate the benefit of that yet. So I want to show you. I'm going to zoom in super close. Now watch what happens as I scroll down the sheet. I zoomed in super close. I want you to see the bottom of my computer screen. So now you can see. So now I'm going to scroll down, right? Guess what you see locked in place? Rows 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are locked in place. They're frozen. So as I scroll down the entire sheet, all the way to the bottom, row 106, the first 5 rows are frozen. How about column A? Well, let's find out when we go towards the right. So I'm going to use the scroll bar to the horizontal scroll bar to scroll to the right. I can scroll all the way to the last column J, and column A is still on the screen because it's frozen. So this is really useful. Freeze panes is really useful for large spreadsheets. Okay, but they didn't really show us why we needed to do that. And when you're creating instructional materials, I know that's a challenge, right? You want to show the students everything, but it's sometimes hard to justify or to create a situation where showing them something is useful. So I don't critique them necessarily for that. Okay, in the employee data sheet, click E6. Okay, E6 is years of service. On the keyboard, press and hold Control, Shift, and down. It's going to do select, Control, Shift, and the down arrow. So let me just show you another way to do that. That's a way of selecting all of the content in a column. Another way is just to take your mouse and put it put it on the top edge of the column that you want to select the content of. So if I put my mouse on the top edge of years of service, click once, look what gets selected. All of the content of that column, but not the heading. So that's essentially what they just showed us, but that I showed you the mouse method for that. With that column selected, click the Home tab and the Numbers category. All right, so we're going to format that as a number. It's going to be the number format. That makes sense. I thought that looked a little strange, having all those decimals. So number, and guess what format it's going to be? Number. Goes to a 2 decimal place number. Click in cell J6. Okay. J6 is over here where I see FT or full time. Oh, that's I6, I'm sorry. Move my stuff around. Current salary. So yeah, J6 is the first current salary, 75,000 some odd dollars. Select the current salary column and format the data as currency to, oh, I'm sorry, 0 decimal places. They forgot the S there, 0 decimal place, right? Places. So if you catch those kind of things, if you're good at that, you could be an editor, right? Or you're just detail oriented. Maybe accounting is good for you. Maybe Excel is good for you, right? If you notice that when you were reading. As a teacher, I think that's partially the reason I notice those things because I have to distinguish them when I'm grading students' work, right? I have to notice all those kinds of things. Formulas, it's important. Okay, so I'm going to use that same method. I like this method. Control Shift down arrow, that's fine. But I don't think I'll ever remember that. Whereas if I put the mouse on the top edge of the column in a black thick arrow, you know what? You may not even be able to see that. But this works in Publisher, PowerPoint, and Microsoft Word, as well as Excel. Now, the difference is in Excel, I'll explain. The first time you click on the top edge, like this, and you have to place it just right. First time you click, it only selects the content. If you do it a second time, then it selects the heading as well. Okay, so just know what you're doing. Don't double click. Just click once. They told us just to select the content of that column. And so we're going to format that as currency with just the regular 2 decimal places, I believe. Let's see. Oh, zero decimal places. Yeah. So I didn't remember, right? It's too busy critiquing. So currency, and then I'm going to go to the decrease decimal button. Boom, boom. I have a lot of students that don't hit the boom, boom twice. I don't understand. I think they're not looking at what's happening on the sheet, because I think surely that having 1 decimal place is odd, is weird for money. You either have no decimal places or you have 2. You never have 1. And I've had students submit work with 3 decimal places and with 1 decimal place. So don't just do the step, make sure it works. Because sometimes you click and you don't click properly. But anyway, no decimal places are showing in that column, so that's great. Using the non-adjacent selection method, select column headings E, G, and I, and center the data. Okay, so I can see this is where students would get a little bit stuck. What the heck is non-adjacent selection method? Well, they explained it earlier. What they probably should do is put a page reference there, because no one calls it that except me. I mean, it sounds like an official method, but I think it's just their own description. So E, G, and I. So what we need to do is hold the control key while we select those columns, right? Not the first one, but the second 2. So E, G, and I. So I select E just the regular way. They did say column headings. They didn't say table headings, okay? So it is possible to select the table headings, right? But they said column headings. That's different. It really is different too. Just realize that when you select a column, it's not the same exact thing as selecting a table column. Although in many cases, you'll get the same result. But realize it's not the same. Okay, the other ones are G and I, right? So I'm going to hold control and click G, and then still hold control and click I. I can release the control. So all 3 are selected and they're going to be centered. I'm going to center that data. Now there's vertical centering buttons and there's horizontal centering buttons. I'm going to do this I'm going to do the horizontal centering, right? So you might have to click it twice. The reason you do that is the first time you click it, the feature was partially on because some of those cells were already centered. In particular, well, I don't know, but we were getting a weird reading. And when the first time I clicked it, nothing happened. So that basically turned the feature off, I think, and then I had to turn it back on. Anyway, there's a logical reason why we click it twice. Don't just think, oh, sometimes you click twice, sometimes you. That's true, but it's better to realize that there is a very logical reason why you clicked 2 times in succession. Okay, so that information is centered. Good. Naming a table. Naming a table is sometimes useful. It's more of a high-level skill to name to name cells and to name a table, because then you can refer to them on other sheets and you can refer to them in formulas. It's higher level. It's not something that you're going to really probably need to do. In fact, you'll never need to do it as an intermediate or beginning to intermediate student. Okay. But it's good that they show you this, I guess. Just realize it's not something you're going to be doing. Click anywhere in the table, then click Table Tools Design, Table Name Box, and you're going to put in employee_DB. I'm going to copy it and paste it. So I click once inside the table, go to Table Design. On the far left-hand side, I see the name of the table that's up there. And I'm going to click in the box. It looks like it all highlighted. I'm going to do a Control-A to make sure. And then I'm going to do a delete to make sure I clear it. There's sometimes I delete information before I paste. Not usually, but in this particular case, with this kind of a weird field, I want to make sure it works. So then Control-V for paste. You can type it in if you want, but I like copying and pasting whenever possible. Now I'm going to press Enter. Okay, good. Looks like it's stuck or it stayed, right? By the way, the only time I ever really needed to name a table when I was making a very sophisticated macro for a company that I was doing some consulting for. It was, and I really needed to name the table. And it was the only time ever in my entire life. And it was for a macro that was a pretty sophisticated macro. So what I'm saying is you may never have to name a table in your life. But realize that it's an object and it can be referred to. And anything that can be referenced or referred to can be used by Excel in other ways, right? But they're higher level or more advanced ways, maybe. So what's this next section? I'm not reading, so I'm not even reading the titles. Entering and deleting records. Press and hold Control-N to move to the last record in the table. Well, if you click anywhere in the table and then do Control-N, it takes you to the last cell that was used on the spreadsheet. I thought it was going to take me to the last cell in the table, like they said, but it didn't. It took me to the last cell that had some editing done to it. And that's actually J114. That's the way I understand Control-N to work, but I just thought maybe it had a different way of working when you're inside of a table. Because they specifically said that it would take me to the last cell of the table, which it did not. So now I'm starting to wonder, because that didn't work the way they said it would work. I'm wondering if students get in trouble with that. I think they made a mistake when they created this file, because the cursor should go here. Let me try it again. If I put my cursor or the green selection box, no, it goes to row 114, but they want it to be in the last cell of the table, because then when you hit tab, you get to see one of the features of a table. So I hit tab and it goes to a brand new cell. Goes to, it goes to a brand new row. In the table, it becomes part of the table, and it goes to column A. What do they want me to do? Type the new entries below. Gee, can I copy these? I'm going to try. I don't think I can, but copy and I'm going to select that same. I'm going to select 10 cells, or maybe just the first cell. Let's see if it works. It put it all in one cell. And I don't think if I did it differently, if I selected the 10 cells, I don't think it would make a difference. Yeah. Okay, let's just put in this information. So I'm going to make the book super small. And put it down here so I can read it, right? So I have both things on the screen. Let's see if I can just type in the information. Okay, 3297. Alfred Yell. Wait a minute now. Yell nuts. You know, I've never heard that name. I don't think that's even a real name. Why couldn't they give me just a real name? Would that be a lot to ask? Is that a lot to ask? I'm just going to type in the letter SE and then tab. Ooh, cool, right? And now F and then tab. And now the amount 95552 tab. Oh, why is that whole section highlighted? Maybe I highlighted it. Okay, so my cursor is at the end of that new row that I typed in for yell gnats, and I tab again, it takes me to another new row. This one's going to be shaded. You can see the shading is alternated. Each row is alternated white, blue, white, blue. Next one is going to be 3299. This is Jackson Brown, famous singer, musical artist. Be careful with the dates as I butcher the dates. Just going to type the letter P and then tab and then F and then tab and now 98655. Okay, so I put in the new data. I hope that makes them feel special. As you enter the data, notice that Excel tries to complete your fields based on previous common entries. True. Remove duplicates. Click anywhere in the table. Anywhere in the table, I click. And from the Table Tools Design tab, click the Remove Duplicates button. Oh, there is no Table Tools Design. Well, it's Table Design. They changed the name of it. It's not a big deal. I hope you guys figured it out. It's called Table Design now. Anyway, so I'm going to click Remove Duplicates. And it says to delete duplicate values, select one or more columns that contain duplicates. Well, if you select all the columns, then what it's going to be doing is looking for a perfect duplicate on every level. There's 10 pieces of information. There's 10 fields. And if all of the 10 fields are checked, that means that for a duplicate record to be removed, it has to match another record 10. That's what that means. So that's the strictest thing you can do, is to leave them all checked. And I think that's probably what they're going to have us do. What? If necessary, click the select all button to deselect all columns. Okay. Select all. Oh, unselect all. Well, anyway, so the instructions are a little different then, but hopefully you guys are figuring it out. Click OK to remove duplicate records. I think there's a mistake here. I think they give us let me look at this. This is something's odd here. Okay, getting a little disappointed with this textbook. I'm finding these errors. In this case, the error is with the word deselect. It should be select. It should not be deselect. Okay, so the remove duplicates dialog box opens. If necessary, click select all. Why? To select all the columns. That's why. This is the only way it works. So let me show you. So I went back and I'm going to do it again. Remove duplicates. So it's not necessary to click select all because all of the checkboxes are selected by default. So now I click OK. They tell me I have one duplicate value found and it's removed. 103 unique values remain. Okay, that's exactly what they said would happen in the book. But the D part of deselect shouldn't be in there, the DE. That bothers me. Fortunately, the pictures are accurate. I can't understand how that can happen. Didn't someone do the exercise over at the publishing house, you know? Really? Some of you are thinking, well, why didn't you do it? Yeah, I guess I never did do this exercise. Or maybe I did it so fast that I didn't read the text to find the error. Because I am familiar with a lot of these tools. So when I know what they want me to do, sometimes I just do it. Okay, click cell K5 and type COLA. K5. Cost of living adjustment, COLA, right? And as soon as you hit enter, it becomes part of the table. So this is called automatic extension. If you put information next to the table, it gets absorbed into the table. I think that's pretty cool. Auto fit the column with, okay, double click. Click L5. Isn't that a vertebrae? L5, that's an important one. L5, what's going to happen here? Type projected salary increase. I'm not typing that. I'm going to copy it without the period, right? And paste it. And auto fit. Okay, double click. Click cell K6. Goodness gracious. Oh, K6. Okay, that's the content of COLA. From the Formulas tab, choose VLOOKUP function. It's within the lookup and reference tool. Look up each employee's store location, matching their store location to the COLA table, locate it on the COLA sheet, bring over the percentage of increase listed on the second column of the column index. Notice this exact match, so it eliminates all false possibilities. It's good if you can understand what they're asking you to do, but I'm not going to take the time to explain it. I'm just going to do the steps, okay? So, but if you can take the time to understand it a little bit, that would be wise. Okay, I'm going to show you how I insert the VLOOKUP function. If you don't know a function, how it works, then you're not going to be able to use it. And if you do know it, then you know how to use it. And you type in the equal sign. In fact, I'll zoom in super close on this. Whoops. Let me fix that. Just going to hit escape. Okay, so I have equals VL. When I type in VL, the function autocomplete list appears. When I just type V, I get a longer list, but when I type VL, it narrows it. Actually, I'll just leave V, and I see VLOOKUP right here. And so I can double click, not once won't do it, double click. And so that inserts the VLOOKUP function. and it puts in the, the spelling of it in the first parentheses. But where am I going to go? Well, you should go to the FX button. Now, this method is different than the textbook, but it's more direct. So I'm going to go ahead and click the FX button and watch what happens. I get the dialog box that they are talking about in the text, right? Wasn't that fast? Oh boy. Trying to move my Zoom window so that you can see. Actually, this will work like this. This way you can see the box and you can see the dialog box and the function. So in the book, it says that we want to look up the store location. They don't really tell us much. It's like they tell us just to type in, what's in here, right? Interesting. So I guess I could do that. I see square brackets at store, right? Maybe I'll do that. Trying to make it so you guys can see this a little bit better. Normally you go click things, right? But they didn't tell me to go click anything. This book is making me crazy. Oh, you know why they're not teaching us about this is because they're not giving us specifics, because they already taught us how to do this back in chapter 2 or 3. That's why. So, I mean, but they're telling you what can go into the box. The table array is going to be the COLA table. Let me show you how to go get the COLA table. I could type in what they have there, or I can click into the table array box and click on the COLA tab. And select the COLA table. Now, they did say to make sure that it's absolute reference. So I'm going to hit the F4 key on my keyboard. I'm going to go back to the book and see what it looks like. COLA C5 to D8. I have COLA C3 to D8. Oh, because I see what I did. I selected, they have this large merged area at the top. Okay. So I usually include that, but I'm just going to select the data in the lower part and then F4. So I now have COLA C5 to D8, and that's what they have. Column index number from COLA is going to be number 2, and then false, which is a very strict way of dealing with the information. So I'm going to click OK, and I got cost of living increase of 0.02 for most, then 0.025, 3, 0.035, 0.02. Oh, I have an extra row at the very end. I don't know how I ended up with that. Oh, that's because we deleted a row. We deleted a duplicate entry. So that's why I have a blank row at the very end. I don't think they ever told us to get rid of that. Let me find out. Bizarre. Yeah, they never told us to get rid of that extra row. So I do have a blank row at the very end of the table. Okay, going back to this VLOOKUP, you could have just typed in what they showed you in the book, and that would have been fine. So they don't show all of the COLA adjustments after doing that step. Using point mode method, click the table cells to calculate the employee's projected salary by increase by multiplying the current salary by the COLA increase. So current salary by COLA. So this is just a simple multiplication, but it's going to look different. So I click in the projected salary increase. I'm going to do equals current salary asterisk COLA. Okay. So notice when you use point mode, it doesn't matter what the references are, but there are no cell references like we're normally used to. These are called structured references. Current salary times COLA is what this will be. And I'm just going to hit enter, watch what happens. It fills out the information in the entire column. So you put the formula in once, you don't have to use the fill handle. K6 through K107, percentage number format. Well, I know how to select the content of that column. I put my mouse arrow pointer on the top edge of COLA, just like we've been doing, and then I go choose percent. Now, how many decimal places? One place. Okay. Auto fit the column. It's already pretty narrow. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. L6 to L107. So same technique. Put my mouse on the top edge of projected salary increase, get the thick black arrow that points down, click once, selects the content of that column, and then that data currency. Well, it's already currency. I'm not going to click currency again. Let me double check. If I choose, it is currency, but if I choose currency, they're going to put in 2 decimals. That's what I don't want to do, but I'm going to do it. So it says that it's currency, but I'm going to choose currency. Watch what happens. I'm going to get the 2 decimals. So maybe that's what they wanted. In the book, it shows it that way. So that's fine. Select L5. Oh, okay. Cell L5. And wrap and right align the text, then decrease the column width. Okay, so they want us to wrap that cell. Okay, so I'll hit the wrap text and decrease the width. I'm going to double click between row 5 and 6 to auto fit the row. They said to increase the row height, but I don't think you should do that. I think you should auto fit your rows, especially auto fit your rows. Otherwise, you're going to get weird row heights. And I'm going to make sure that that is right aligned, that text inside that heading. Okay, it looks like the book, I think. Total row, super easy, super cool. I'm going to click the total row option. This is up in table design, total row. When you come down to the bottom of your table, you will see that you have a new row at the very bottom called total. But guess what? I'm getting rid of row 108. There's nothing in it. I'm going to select row 108 and I'm going to right click the shaded 108 and I'm going to choose delete table row. Okay, so I think that was a mistake. They never told us to get rid of that. Or maybe when we deleted the duplicate, they expected that row to be automatically removed. The total row automatically goes in and does a sum calculation on the last column, which is the projected increase in salary. But that's weird. It's only 102. I'm going to deactivate the total row and then activate it again. Same thing, 102. Bizarre. Why would that be? Let's see what the book says. Why is it calculating 102? So I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to zoom in really close and hit the little drop down list arrow on the right side of that calculation. Oh, it's somehow stuck on count. Now, I don't know if that was because I was demonstrating the total row earlier tonight, just tonight, in another class. And I like you guys better though. I don't like them. They're bad students. I'm kidding, I'm joking, right? I like everybody equally. But I was demonstrating that and I was playing around with min, max, average, count, sum. So maybe I left it on count and maybe that influences it. I don't know. I'm going to click that drop down list arrow. I'm going to choose, I don't know what they want. Average. Let's see. Okay, they do want us to choose sum in both projected and oh no, K is going to be average. So sum is okay for that final column, projected salary increase, but for current salary, click in that cell, J108, and that calculation is going to be the average, 73,020. I'm not sure about that. Okay, current salary is going to be the sum and the projected salary is going to be a sum. Okay, and it's the COLA increase that's going to be the average. My fault, sorry. So COLA is going to be the average. So you can put a calculation, different calculation on the bottom of as many columns as you want. So my numbers seem to be lining up with the book. So that's good. Select A1 through L2. Now, I still have this frozen situation here. I don't really like it. A1, L2. I don't think you can do what they're going to ask us to do. Right click, format cells, choose alignment. Okay. Format cells. Oh, I remember this. This is pretty cool. And I'm going to go to the alignment tab. From the horizontal alignment, choose center across selection. horizontal, center across selection. This is not a merge. This is not a merge and center. It is a substitute for merge and center. So this is kind of cool because there are some times where you do not want to merge cells. It goofs things up. This is a substitute for merge and center that won't goof things up. And actually, I think I learned that from, I don't know if it was this book or another book, but I learned it from a book, I think. Click OK. Yeah, so when you look at that, you think, oh, that's a merge and center. No, center across selection. Similar, but different. I'm scrolling to the next section. They're giving me some teaching, but I'm just going to make a beeline for the next steps. See if I can do a few more. Complete a single level sort by following the steps. Employee ID heading, click the filter button. Choose smallest to largest. Employee ID, smallest to largest. Click the filter button on the current salary, largest to smallest. Now, of course, when you go from one to the other, you're invalidating the previous one, right? These are single sorts. Employee ID is no longer going to be sorted now that current salary is sorted. Custom sort. Select the data tab, sort. We want to sort by store, apparently. So I'm going to go to data, sort. They don't want us to sort by current salary. That's the most recent sort. They want us to sort by store, and then click add level. Last name and then current salary. Last name, add level, current salary. Now, it's all going to be sorted on cell values, A to Z, smallest to largest. So the first one is A to Z, second one A to Z, last one smallest to largest. Click OK. So this is one of the reasons why some students sorts, when they do this exercise, don't come out quite right. Because there's a lot to, make sure that you have set correctly, and it's easy to miss something. So just take your time. So there's 3 levels sorted here. It's a multi-level sort. The primary sort is store, then last name, then current salary. So here's how it works. Guess which comes first, Portland or San Diego? Portland. But within Portland, last name. Within Portland, let's look at the last names. So here's Portland. See if there's any duplicates. And there are. There's only 2 duplicates. So the primary sort is the store. That's working. And then within Portland, notice what gets sorted. There's 2 browns there, right? And which brown gets sorted first? Remember we said smallest to largest? So 1938 appears before 1975 or 1973. So you see all 3 sorts working here. The store is sorted primarily. Then if there are duplicates within the store, which there are, there's only 2 or 1 set of duplicates. So the Brown, Linda Brown, makes less, so hers comes first, then Jackson Brown. Well, he's a musician, so he makes more. Okay, I just wanted to explain why that was working. I probably shouldn't be. Well, anyway, a lot of students have trouble with that. That's why I was explaining it in my other class tonight. So maybe that explanation will help you. Custom sort list, interesting. So this is, it's not something you'll do every day, but it's kind of cool and it's pretty easy. I'm going to copy these. See if that saves me a little time. While clicking the table, choose data and then sort. In the sort by row, click the drop down menu in the order column. Okay, I got lost. Sort by row. Okay, let me take a moment to look at this. Okay, so they're calling this first control area the sort by row, and then the order column is is in the third position. So I'm going to click the drop down list arrow and then choose custom list. So there's another way to get to this area, but this is kind of nice. We can get here this way. And I'm going to click into the list entries area and paste. Boom. And let's see if that's what they want. Seattle, San Diego, Portland, San Francisco. Good. So obviously, San Diego should come before Seattle alphabetically. And Portland should come before them both. But we're creating a custom sort list. The idea is they're going to use our sort, not alphabetically, not reverse alphabetically, but we want it sorted this way. So I'm going to click OK. And so that will now be the sort, the way that the stores are sorted, a custom sort order. So I'm going to click OK. So now you see Seattle comes first, then San Diego. See, normally that would never happen, okay? But it's a custom list. Now we're on to filtering data. Okay, sometimes have to be careful I don't scroll past some of the steps that they want us to do. So it says complete the following steps and filter data according to each query, each question. Okay, that's what they mean by that. How many employees are at a part-time status? Click the filter button on job status column heading. Job status. And they want us to find out about part-time, right? So I'm going to remove full-time. Slightly different way than they asked us to do it, but it requires less clicks. And now I'll click OK. So we don't have a count, do we? Should put in a count function underneath PT. So we have 11 part-time employees. Whereas if I clear the filter and I put back everything, we have 102. Okay, so 11 part-time. From the total row, Oh, they want us to do that, don't they? I-108. Okay, perfect. uh, okay, so I demonstrated that already, didn't I? Criteria filters. While clicked in the table, clear any sort of filter applied by clicking the data tab and the clear button. Okay, so we're going to remove filters. I'm going to click clear. And it not only removed filters, it also removed sorts. But did it remove the custom sort? I don't think so. I think the custom sort might still be in place, but it removed those sort and filter button actions or activities. So click the filter button in the higher date column. Okay, so that's column D. Select date filters, choose the between criteria. Okay. Date filters between. Search for employees with a higher date between 2013 and 2016. Okay, I think someone was telling me they had difficulty with this step. So let's see. Higher date, date filters, and between. And I'll zoom in because if someone was having difficulty in this class with this particular step, then maybe I need to demonstrate it more clearly. So it says search for employees with a higher date between 2013 and 2016. In the is, after, or equal to section, type 1/01 2013, and typing in the is or before equal to section 12/31 2016. Well, I'm just gonna highlight that first date, copy it, go to my dialog box and paste it. Go to the other date in the book, 12/31/16. Copy that, paste that into the lower box. Oh, I lost the 16. That's all right. I'm going to type it in. So now you can compare. Here's my box, my dialog box. And it's clean data. 1/01 2013, 12/31 16. Let me look at theirs. Same thing. And then they want us to click OK. So I'm going to click OK. Huh. So you can, if you look at the leftmost section, leftmost area of Excel, you'll notice that you'll see blue row heading numbers. And if you look at your count column, you'll notice there's a count of 47 items, whereas originally there was something like 108 items or something like that, 100 items. So there's a lot of items missing. There are a lot of items that are filtered out because they don't fall within the date range. The date range is after or equal to 2013, but it is before 2016. So basically the dates are between 2013 and 2016. And so half the employees were hired either before or after that period. Sort the filter table from oldest to newest by date hired. Okay, oldest to newest. Okay, so that's now the dominant sort. I see the very first hire was March 1st, 2013 at the top. And then the last one in this period of time, was April 19th, 2016. In the total row section, count the last names of the employees by applying the count function in B108. Well, it's going to be the same as the count function in column I, right? Let's see. Yeah, 47. Job status. Okay, so they want us to turn off that. Okay, well, that's a useful tool or technique to learn how to turn something off. So I'll turn it off there. Okay. So I got the same number of results, so that's good. Slicers is the next activity. I think I'll demonstrate this next activity, the slicers, and then that may have to be the end of the video. Or maybe what I'll do is I'll stop the video right now and continue with slicers in a second video, because this is a kind of a long video right now. Okay, so I think I will finish this particular video at this moment. And then slicers will be in a companion video to this one. Okay, so I'm leaving off with the custom date filter. I think that's what they called it, or criteria filter. Okay, so thank you for your attention, and I am going to now end this video, but look for another video that should pick up right where this one left off with slicers. Okay, thank you for your time. Good luck.